This video is presented by EA Game Changers. I'd like to thank EA for giving me early access to Madden 22 to create today's video. What's going on, everybody? C4, welcome back to the channel, and today we are back for our second Madden 22 franchise rebuild doubleheader, man. And we're rebuilding the Jacksonville Jaguars. Yesterday we did the Chicago Bears, and originally I was like, hey guys, what rebuild do you guys want to see first in Madden 22? On my Twitter, @PapaXC4, make sure you hit that follow button on that one. And it was razor close between the Bears and the Jags for what team most people wanted to see do. And I saw like a lot of not Bear and Jags fans suggesting that team. So I figured, why not? With my 2 days of early access here for uploading on YouTube, might as well, show the all-in commitment. I'm all in on Madden 22. Madden 22 for C4 on YouTube. It's going to be a big year. It's going to be my year. Thank you very much for clicking on this video. Thank you for hopping on the bandwagon because we are going hard. So I figured, why not, man? Let's do it. Let's do it. Back-to-back rebuilds. Let's meet this Jags roster. Well, you can see though in the top right-hand corner, we have Urban Meyer, brand new head coach. Get another layer that makes this Jags team an interesting rebuild. There's no portraits there. That's just the build that we're working on for some reason. Does not have the updated portraits in yet. But much like in the Bears rebuild, you can see Justin Fields had the little, default non-portrait, but the face scan was in the game. And as you can see, starting here, looking at the preview roster, Trevor Lawrence, he's looking good, man. He's looking, man, I thought Tua's face scan last year for the Dolphins was S tier. Might as well put Trevor Lawrence right up there. The hair looks good. Stats look really good. 6'6", 21 years old, 78 hidden depth. Almost a perfect scheme fit. The stats, 91 throw power, 88 short accuracy. Everything is good. The mold was reset. Forever it was, who's going to be the next Andrew Luck? Well, for every quarterback prospect from here on in, it's going to be who's going to be the next Trevor Lawrence. So, very excited to see what we can do. We have the pace car that was kind of set with Justin Fields in that Bears rebuild yesterday of all right, Justin Fields, he was low 90s, superstar X Factor, was going for 40 touchdowns a year. Fell a little bit short, unfortunately, couldn't win the Super Bowl in that one. So let's see if we can eclipse what we kind of accomplished with Justin Fields here today with Trevor Lawrence. So look at the rest of the QB room. We have Minshew. Man, he looks, what a stud. Who has better hair, Minshew or Trevor Lawrence? That's a tough question. But I'm going to throw Gardner Minshew up on the trade block. I do think there could be, depending on your scheme, if you have a lot of short throws, Minshew could start still in the NFL. So I'm going to throw him up on the trade block, see if we can get some sort of value there. Running back room, very intrigued by this running back room. We have James Robinson, who's one of the best draft stories last year. UDFA was he the most productive rookie running back? He must have been up there. He was sensational. Had him on one of my fantasy teams. He was a beast. 86 star dev for him. He's not a great Madden running back, though, for being honest. Look at the base stat lines kind of reminds me a little bit of Josh Jacobs. You got 91 break tackle, 96 carry, 91 ball carry vision, 89 trucking, which is pretty good. But the speed, I actually don't really mind playing with power backs, but 86 speed, you are going to feel that while you're using them. So we're going to have a little bit of smash and dash. Think back to 2000s Tennessee Titans when Lendale White and CJ2K. Well, we have James Robinson to be the power back short yardage guy. And then for some reason, I don't know, this is a surprising pick for Jags fans. Jags fans, you're watching this. Were you surprised when they double dipped Clemson players in the first round? Because they selected Travis Etienne Jr. from Clemson, 76 with that hidden dev. Well, having the success of James Robinson, it's weird, but understanding that Etienne can catch the ball in the backfield, 92 speed, 93 acceleration, 87 agility, 87 juke move. It's a terrific compliment to what we have in James Robinson. So I'm thinking long-term, from a Madden rebuild standpoint, you don't really need two running backs, but we're going to enjoy the heck out of having both Etienne and James Robinson here in this backfield. Wide receiver room, pretty interesting as well. We got the veteran there, Marvin Jones Jr., He'll be solid for the time being. Nice little outlet veteran presence to have Trevor Lawrence early on. But long term, our wide receiver room is going to really focus around these two guys. We have DJ Chark, 24 height, weight, speed out of LSU, 6'4", with the star dev. Also chipping in 94 speed, 93 acceleration, 87 catch in traffic, 91 catch. He's one of the most overpowered wide receivers in Madden. Then we have Laviska Shenault, 6'1", 227. Just kind of a weapon. He's kind of going to be potentially, if Cordell Patterson was a good receiver. Shenault, 76 with that star dev. I think he's going to be a really good slot wide receiver for us because you really just want to get him the ball quickly and let him do his damage with the ball in his hands. So that's how we're going to try to utilize that. So there's still going to be room long-term looking at this wide receiver room for probably a third wide receiver to come in. But for the time being, Jones Jr. solid, and I think Chark and Laviska Shenault should be guys that we're clearly going to try to build around. Quickly going through the offensive line here. Cam Robinson, solid. Norwell, veteran, but, he's kind of on the downswing, kind of expensive. Ben Bartch is an interesting one. Has the depth trait, 65 star depth. So if you're looking at long-term, maybe try to find a way to get him snaps on the field. Linder at center, he's solid for the time being. Again, 29 for a 5-year rebuild, kind of expensive. At right guard, we have A.J. Cann, 76. I think what I'm going to do, we're going to throw up A.J. Cann on the trade block here. If we can get something that's solid value, like a 5th round, 6th round, some round pick, it might be better long-term to get Ben Bartch on the field. Even though he's only a 65, and we'll be taking 11-point overall downgrade. We have the age and the depth trait. I think one full season starting for Bartch, we could probably get him 71, 72, depending on how many games we win, and we'll be better off just making that commitment. Going with Bartch with the depth trait at right guard and trying to move A.J. Cann for a pick. Right tackle, we have Jawan Taylor, who's, solid, I guess, and Walker Little, they selected out of Stanford. Both of them just having normal devs. That's the tough sell here. We have young linemen here for the Jags, but none of them have good depth traits, so it's very much a question mark across the entirety of this offensive line. Hopefully we can figure it out sooner than later. Defensively, kind of the same boat. I really don't know what we're going to do here at defensive end. Taven Bryan would have been awesome if he could have panned out as a Gator fan. He's been, he's been a guy. Right defensive end, we have Roy Robertson Harris coming over from the Bears. He was solid. Who is this guy? Is this guy like the James Robinson, the defensive side of the ball? Doug Costin from Miami, Ohio. 70 overall. Was a rookie last year with a star def. Who is this guy? I don't know. Who, Jags fans, who is this guy? Well, you know what? I can tell you who this guy is. This is going to be a guy that we're going to go in here, and I'm going to make him my starting right defensive end. I think we'll go Roy Robertson Harris at right defensive end. And at left defensive end, we'll go Doug Costin because he's young, has the depth trait. Maybe we got something special there. Maybe not, but it was worth the effort. Let's at least check it out. Inside, they got Tufele at USC, like him. But the starter, Devon Hamilton, 74 with that star dev out of Ohio State. Obviously, Urban Meyer's going to be very familiar with him. He's a beast, 91 strength. I definitely think high ceiling, and hopefully he gets a lot of reps, hits the ground running. Linebacking core, Josh Allen, stud. 82 superstar, absolutely. Since even Kentucky, I was so impressed with his final year at Kentucky. He absolutely took the game over against the Gators there. No real 73. He's a beast. 6'5", 260. He's one of the best and most underrated. I think he could have a potential breakout year, depending on how Urban Meyer tends to use him on the defense side of the ball. But he's going to be huge for us in this rebuild. Linebacking core, we got Myles Jack, another guy, face of this defense, 86 with that superstar. Really good in real life, really good in the Madden sim as well. He's always on the short list for Defensive Player of the Year, so I'm very excited to see the levels he can reach for us in this rebuild. Schobert, solid, 77 with the star dev. Rest of the linebackers there, more so just, depth. Right outside linebacker, we're going to go Caleb Chaisson, 71, LSU, entering his second season. Going to have the big year here. Hopefully, dev trait scenario potentially, because he's going to get a lot of snaps as a normal dev player, but a guy that we're going to try and develop just a little bit. Into the secondary, Shaquille Griffin coming over from the Seahawks for legit money. He's solid. Again, for a 5-year rebuild. Should be here the whole time. 85 star. You got Sidney Jones, kind of phased out in Philadelphia, but really high upside. Maybe there could be something there for sure. CJ Henderson, oddly enough, as of me recording this, there's rumors that he could potentially be on the trade block for the Jacksonville Jaguars, but not in this rebuild. 78 star dev. We are absolutely going to use CJ Henderson for sure. Herndon saw they got Tyson Campbell they selected out of Georgia this year. He could potentially get a lot of snaps. Long term, I could absolutely see Tyson Campbell, C.J. Henderson, and Shaquille Griffin being our 3 main corners for most of this rebuild. But we'll give Sidney Jones a chance. Secondary, Wilson, the veteran. I think we're going to go with Andre Sisco, absolute ball hawk at Syracuse. Had the injury, but I think he's going to be a sleeper for you Jags. You Jags fans didn't watch a lot of college ball. This guy here could be something special for you guys this season. Strong safety. They paid a lot of money to get Rayshawn Jenkins over from the Chargers. Okay, Josh Jones got a lot of tackles. Rudy Ford was solid with the Eagles. I actually thought he could have made the Pro Bowl last year as a special teamer for Philly. We have Josh Lambo, superstar kicker, and at punter Logan Cook. So, generally speaking, this is a Jags team that is primed to be really, really good, like year 3, year 4, year 5, especially with Trevor Lawrence under center. And I think anytime you could do a rebuild, why do you want to pick the Jags? Oh, because they have one of the greatest quarterbacks in the history of college football. There's an excitement that you just can't capture on any other team in the league. And obviously here, I am talking about Tebow time, baby! Let's go! Tim Tebow is He's in the NFL again. He is a tight end on the Jacksonville Jaguars, and I'm here for it. If you don't think Tim Tebow is going to be my starting tight end, then you don't know C4 content. So that's awesome. I mean, personally, I'm excited to probably get weird with Tebow. Not necessarily in this series, but in another series, switching him back to quarterback. Having a little bit of fun there. I will say, EA, if I could potentially get something in, I know you got a face scan of this guy somewhere. Put the Tebow face scan in the game, if possible. I would very much appreciate that. So that is the Jacksonville Jaguars, fellas. I think enough's been said. Without further ado, let's get into the rebuild here. The Jacksonville Jaguars will try to bring Tony Khan of All Elite Wrestling. Big fan of that product. See if we can bring him a Super Bowl. Pretty cool early on, too. We get the Marvin Jones Jr. wide receiver. Let me take a guy under his wing. And it's actually for Laviska Shenault, which is awesome, because I want to develop him as a slot wide receiver. So we're very much appreciative of the fact that we can work on a short route running here early in year number 1. So thank you very much. What are we getting here? 2 release, 2 short route running. Sounds good to me. Trade offers have come in for AJ Cann. Some interesting one. I did not think we'd get some third rounders here, but I mean, he's not a bad guy. He's like a starting right guard. And I suppose if you're a team right now that's just trying to get into a Super Bowl, it kind of makes sense. I don't really want to necessarily to help a team within our division. So I'm going to take that 3rd round pick there from the New Orleans Saints. Have fun in the Big Easy. This is pretty cool. Got a different cutscene. I actually don't think I had this happen once in the Bears rebuild, but it's for Devon Hamilton. He was a camp standout, so we get a nice little one-on-one there. Hopefully we get a face scan for Urban Meyer, and it's not going to be like a Bill Belichick situation. But look at get 2+ sacks or tackles for loss for Hamilton against the Cowboys. Get a breakout there. That would be a superstar to have defensive tackle that's under 25 years old. Good luck this week, sir. Tell you right now, I can't remember the last time I played a rebuild, year 1, game 1. But when you got Trevor Lawrence and Tim Tebow together, I don't think there's any way that I'm not going to have Trevor Lawrence's first NFL touchdown pass to not go to Tim Tebow. Let's go. 1st and 10. The route's not bad. The hands are even better, Tebow. Let's go. Let's go. History has been made. And Tebow time. Tebow mania. Who needs Minshew mania? It's Tebow mania, and it's running wild in Duval, baby. So unfortunately from game 1, did not hit the dev trade there for Devon Hamilton, but we have a scenario here. Something for Trevor Lawrence. Attribute, upgrade, or XP reward. Let's go pinpoint accuracy, what that does. What do we get from that? I mean, I do love the whole press conference thing. He got plus 4 deep accuracy. Okay, hell of a way to start week 1 of the first year of 5-year rebuild. And right at the midway point, I was literally just getting ready to like kind of see and get a lay of the land of where we are for year number 1. Caleb Longstreet saw a hit on a dev trade scenario. Nice. I mean, anytime you can have a normal dev starter, get that star dev, get that foot on the door, get the wheel rolling. You're happy with that. You're very happy with that. So we are, we're at a good spot at our bye week here. So you look at the rest of the league, it's, we're competitive. I think that's what you can at least say right now, because it's way too early. It's way too early to be like, hey, we're shocking the league, and hey, we're going to go on a deep playoff run. But we're being really competitive right now, hanging with the Titans, 4-2, even though, yeah, we are on a 2-game lose streak. 4-2 is it's a good spot to be. That's a really good spot to be for the Jacksonville Jaguars, year 1 of a team that absolutely needed a complete overhaul. So while we're here at the bye week, we do have some contracts that we do need to talk about here. I'm thinking right off the bat, DJ Chark, give him something like a 4-year deal. That looks like good money right there. I mean, look at the rest of these guys. I mean, okay, well, I'll tell you right now. Tim Tebow getting the contract extension, 100%. But other than that, Cam Robinson and Norwell in the offensive line, those two guys will monitor. Again, just in terms of like, let me get some scouting done if there's some guards and tackles and stuff like that, as we can kind of slowly rebuild this offensive line in free agency and just in the offseason in general, we will do so. But if not, I mean, hey, we still have till the first week of the offseason if we want to throw one more big offer at Norwell and or Cam Robinson, because the O-line prospects this offseason are not that great. Same kind of goes with Sidney Jones. I want to see at the end of the year where he's at statistically, if he's done enough to prove that he should come back here and be a starter for us. I'll gladly give him a contract extension, but right now, DJ Chark and Tebow are the only two guys I want to get locked in right away. At the end of year 1, I mean, you're looking at the standings here, 7-10 for Jacksonville, but within the division, you could technically say tied for second. And going from worst to second in the division is bad division, but it's still compliment, and it's still a great indicator of the progress that we're starting to see already in 1 year here in Jacksonville. So I guess just to recap at the end of year one, to kind of just cap it all off, I spent all of our skill points, and this is probably going to be copy and paste, at least until I maybe find something different that could potentially change my mind. I'm spending all of my points on player growth, and we're going to work on the right-hand side of like the path, the right path, because it's O-line, XP, running back, wide receiver XP, QB XP, which is just going to be important because it'd be pretty cool when all is said and done if we can hit 99 overall for Trevor Lawrence. And then ultimately we get the final piece, which is a very, very nice ability. Hey, also, I have videos coming soon that's going to break down these abilities, maybe potentially the meta, and in my opinion, the most overpowered abilities. And one of them is absolutely the final piece because it makes everyone a scheme fit for your weekly training, which is very important. And I also like working on the contracts for player personnel. Just, I made sure we got the discounts. We're trying to re-sign players. And hopefully, as things keep on keeping on, you can get the unlocker ability, which is going to be very, very important, especially like year 4, year 5, in case salary cap gets a little bit tight and we have a big-time player that we don't want to hit the open market. Well, you just get that ability. You have an opportunity to renegotiate if he locks you out from a bad contract offer. So, this is actually, we lost. This is the first time I've actually had a staff member poached. Who did we lose? Did we lose anyone? We didn't lose anyone. It's just showing that I was excited for a second. Okay, well, let's just look at our stats. How did Trevor Lawrence and company do here in his first season in the NFL? We know the record's good. 7 wins. I think most Jags fans would be ecstatic with 7 wins. Trevor Lawrence, not bad. Top 5 in passing yards, over 4,000 yards passing, 29 touchdowns, 23 picks, though. Little bit on the high end. What's his dev trait? Well, we're just here. We can click that. Superstar? Probably. Ooh. I know there might be Jags fans. There's general football fans. Do you think Trevor Lawrence should be coming with a star dev trait? I mean, maybe it's just the early build. I thought Trevor Lawrence for sure would get a superstar. Join Chase Young with the rookies with this. Yeah. How do you guys feel about that? Trevor Lawrence with a star dev. At least it's like level playing ground with what we worked with yesterday with Justin Fields, I guess. All right, running the ball, 950 and 17 rushing touchdowns from James Robinson. Only 300 yards and 4 touchdowns from Etienne. Definitely want to get him more involved. Running for the receiving, 800 yards, 5 tutties for Marvin Jones, 8 and 7 for Shenault, 7 and 3 for Tim Tebow. Like seeing that. Making the conversion at tight end. Should have just done that right when he left Florida. 600 yards, 7 touchdowns for Chark, 5 and 4 for Robinson, almost 4 and 3 for Etienne. Okay. So, I mean, no dominant wide receiver one, but a healthy group, healthy numbers across the board. Defensively, Myles Jack, outstanding, 137 tackles, 11 TFLs, 3.5 sacks, 3 interceptions, over 100 tackles for Sidney Jones, 100 for Rayshon Jenkins. We got 7 sacks, Roy Robertson Harris, 5.5 for Josh Allen, 16 TFLs, not bad, 22 TFLs for Caleb Vaughn. Definitely want to see those sacks come up for sure. 3 picks, Myles Jack leading the team. Okay, acceptable numbers, nothing too outrageous. Yearly awards MVP went to Alvin Kamara of the New Orleans Saints. We're in the AFC Offensive Player of the Year, went to Patrick Mahomes. TJ Watt, Defensive Player of the Year, Offensive Rookie of the Year, went to Zach Wilson. Beating out Trevor Lawrence. Trevor Lawrence and Etienne coming in at number 3. Defensive Rookie of the Year went to JOK for the Browns. I'm still very upset that Philadelphia didn't draft him. Cisco coming in for us here at the Jags at number 4. And then just quickly going through, seeing if any Jacksonville Jaguars got themselves some hardware in the offseason. Unfortunately, they did not. So we close out year 1 being happy. Really, the only thing that's kind of chapping my ass is the star dev trait for Trevor Lawrence. All right, let's get into the offseason. Also, I thought Myles Jack might be the only guy that we had make the Pro Bowl. We had no one make the Pro Bowl. I thought we were clean swept out of it. And Andre Cisco, the rookie from Syracuse, making the Pro Bowl. Congrats to him. And you hate to see it. Feels like I'm still playing Madden 21 here with the Super Bowl. The Dallas Cowboys beat the Cleveland Browns with Zeke Elliott getting his Super Bowl MVP. Ugh. I'm going to finish saying that. That's gross. All right, last chance to negotiate. I will actually try. I'll see if Norwell will take a 1 year. Given the draft, there are some actually intriguing offensive linemen that I would not hate. Get Sidney Jones, last chance. If he takes it, sure, hey, we'll take it back. He had over 100 tackles for us. Wasn't too shabby. And then last but not least, we gotta get old Teebs back here. I'll actually overpay potentially to get him. Just for the jersey sales alone. The merch. Think about the merch. Okay, this guy's moving numbers for jerseys and t-shirts and everything in between. That's way too much money to pay for Cam Robinson. So yeah, let's hit free agency. Hopefully there's some big time guys we can bring in. So I'm taking a little gander here at the free agency class. And there's some interesting options for sure. Two guys that make the most sense for me. First is Keanu Neal. Yes, I knew they paid a lot of money to get Jenkins over from the Chargers. That wasn't me. That wasn't my contract. I wonder if Urban actually recruited Keanu Neal at Florida. I don't think they would have lined up. There's no other bids. He's 27. He's a year younger and a 10 overall point difference plus dev trait. And another bid that I'm very interested in, if I was genuinely the Jaguars, I think when Michael Gallup hits the open market, just because, obviously Dallas is absolutely stacked at wide receiver. I think any team that needs a wide receiver, Gallup is going to be the guy that, I'm speaking as an Eagle fan. We need help at wide receiver. And I think Michael Gallup, he's a beast. I think he's really underrated. And if we can land him, I'll just release Marvin Jones Jr. I think it frees up around $5-ish million. Just wouldn't make sense. Because then we have our wide receiver set. It's going to be Chark. It's going to be Laviska Shenault and Michael Gallup. So yeah, we free up $5 million there by getting rid of Marvin Jones. I'm not going to do it yet because we might miss out on Michael Gallup. And if not, I don't think there's any other wide receivers I'd rather have than Marvin Jones. So we'll just see how that plays out. See, I'm glad we didn't count our chickens. We got Keanu Neal. We didn't get Michael Gallup. I'll take that for the first offseason. You never really want to overspend early in a rebuild. And those last couple clips, did it look like my audio was just slightly off from the video? I don't know. I got brand new recording stuff here. I got a new camera. I got the lights back there that I'm trying to figure out still. But every now and again, it's technology. New technology doesn't work. So I unfortunately was I'm pretty sure that the audio looks like just a tad out of sync. I know what to look for now. But I did have to scrap the entirety of the preview of my big board before I made the first round pick. My apologies. But we made the right pick. I got Khalil Harrison at pick 6. Number 3 in true value. 80 overall with the hidden dev trait. Scheme fit as well. This guy's an absolute beast. 95 strength, 83 tackle, 86 acceleration. So now that I did make that pick, though, I will show you my draft board. Kind of where I'm thinking about going forward in this draft. And look, that's what I have to deal with. That's whatever build that we're working with, I get just the eyes burned out of me every time I try to go around in the menus here. But here's our draft board, and I feel really good with this draft board here. We got some studs at tight end. Stamper, first-round grade player in the 5th round. Tim Tebow's not going to last forever. I got Bill Goldberg. The Bill Goldberg, man. Even for the memes, I might have to pull the trigger in the 2nd round. We got a couple first-round grade linemen. Those do not grow on trees in drafts. So that's very valuable considering how much we want to rebuild the offensive line. I want to get, and I'm probably going to target one of these 3 guys here in the next round. We have a couple studs at wide receiver, first rounders, defensive end, defensive lineman, and ultimately I ended up making the right decision. But this is the rest of our draft board, and I'm really hoping one of these linemen is going to be available at the 6th pick of the 2nd round. 2nd round, I mean, if you want to go wide out, he's a freaking really good looking wide out here. But I think we got to go O-line, and as much as Carlson might be the better pick, can shift him in 6'5", 320, can play guard, can play tackle. His name's Bill Goldberg. I feel like it's a sign. I got to draft Bill. Oh, and he has the dev trait. Let's go, Bill Goldberg with the dev trait. 71 hidden dev at a Notre Dame. Well-rounded. It's not an OP player by any means, but Bill Goldberg's going to Jacksonville. Picks 3 and 4 seem pretty obvious to me. I'm going to grab Goldsberry here, and then next round get Ty Stamper. Just knock it off the first round grades. Goldsberry, he's good. That's really good for 3rd round. Number 31 in true value, 73 normal, 95 speed, 93 acceleration, 80 catching, 85 catching traffic. Agility's good. The jumping's good. Get a little bit of a dangerous return man in him. That's a solid pick. Let's just finish this one out here, man. Let's get Stamper, the tight end, 1st round grade as well. Combine on point, the fastest tight end. One of the most explosive tight ends. Yeah. Let's go. 73 hidden dev. Number 25 in true value at 102, 85 speed, 79 catching, 88 acceleration, 78 catching traffic, 77 spec. No slouch in the blocking game either. All right, we're going to be fine when Tim Tebow decides to hang him up. Now, I was a little bit of a coward to finish out this draft. I wanted that perfect 70 draft, so I traded away my late round picks. You know what? Like, should I just make a draft guide? Like, have you watched the Bears rebuild into this one? It's going to be a good year. It's going to be a great year, man. We finished out the draft. You saw the original picks. I got a 70 normal dev, Cameron Calhoun out of Washington. He's going to slide into defensive end for us. And then I was actually able to get the other gem tight end, Tevin Barden from Oklahoma, and he's a 70. S-tier draft. All right, let's take a little gander at our roster here as we gear up for year 2, trying to build off a 7-win season. So on the offensive side of the ball, from like a skill position standpoint, not too much has changed. Trevor Lawrence, 83. Started. How's he a star? We got Robinson and Etienne here. Great 1-2 punch. Chark, Shenault, Marvin Jones, Goldsberry from the draft. Like, we got depth there at wide receiver. Stamper, the tight end's actually getting the start. I feel like I'm intrigued by that hidden dev trait, but it's still Tebow Mania run wild, brother. He's going to be our starting fullback. Offensive line, trying to find the best combination here. I think this is going to be our best bet. Taylor Barch, Linder. And then I'm going to go Walker Little at left tackle, and I switched Goldberg from left tackle into left guard. We'll see how he starts out there. Would love a superstar to have an alignment. Defensively, front three, we're going Hamilton, Costin, and we have to let it go with Harrison here. Hopefully it's hopefully it's an X Factor. I would love to have a straight up superstar X Factor. But I won't be too greedy. Give me a superstar. I'll be fine. Secondary, Griffin, Sidney Jones, Henderson, and Campbell, solid. Keanu Neal, our lone free agency signing. Andre Sisco made the Pro Bowl last year as a rookie. Would love to see a dev trait scenario sooner or later for him. And the linebacker core solid. Shea Song got a dev trait last year. Josh Allen, superstar. Myles Jack, superstar. Schobert still solid. I set our goal, make the playoffs this year. Totally attainable, I think. So Shea Song had like a dev trait scenario, kind of like the new dev traits that are in Madden, and he accomplished it. We lost opening week, but 10,000 free XP. Okay. He's turning it around. Midway point of year 2, 4-3. Top of the division. Definitely trending where, the kind of direction we really want to go. So at this point, first, I see right there at the top, big red banner, 50 staff points. I was already able to upgrade the final piece. I think it's probably worth just coming down here and maximizing the boost that we're going to earn for Trevor Lawrence. Really all of our skill position players. And then after that, I think the next thing I'm going to try to get would be, that is after school tutoring is also a very overpowered ability. Or just start working on contracts, being able to retain our really good players. Segueing into keeping our really good players. Now, this is a tough one. And this one's not as tough. So we'll get Josh Allen started. The tough thing to do is, do you really need 2 running backs in this sim? Especially seeing, how misused Etienne was. Is that $38 million? I don't know. I feel like it might not be the right tone that I want to set in my second rebuild by getting rid of, clearly a fan favorite. I'd rather just try to make the salary cap work and have both James Robinson and Etienne for this rebuild. So we're going to go ahead, pull the trigger there. I think Linder at center, still, he's going to hold on to his value fairly well. I can't see him regressing much lower than 77, 78. And that's still more than good enough to be a good Madden center. Other than that, though, maybe throw Costin because he has that dev trade a couple bucks. But that's probably it for our in-house free agents. Got a Week 11 victory against the Patriots, and we called it right at the beginning. Andre Sisco was primed for a dev trade upgrade this season, and he hit it. So I think that's every starter in our secondary has a dev trade upgrade of some sort. They're off that normal. You can build off that for the next 3-4 more years. Not too bad for the end of year 2. 10 wins for Jacksonville. Squeaking in. I'm not going to say squeaking in, but, we're runners up behind Wentz and the Colts there in the division. But getting into the playoffs, got to run the gauntlet. 13 wins for Joe Burrow and the Bengals is where we meet in the playoffs. We'll hop in, play the moments there, just see firsthand how Trevor Lawrence versus Joe Burrow plays out. But very, very happy with our team's performance here this season. Let's take a look at the stats. I'm definitely thinking a big uptick here in Trevor Lawrence. And yeah, probably interceptions cut in half, even more so. 3,500 yards, 35 touchdowns, 8 interceptions for T-Law. That's outstanding. 1,100 yards, 21 touchdowns for James Robinson. But you are kind of seeing the dilemma here. This was a rebuild where I had no feelings for the opinions of Jags fans. I probably would have let James Robinson bounce and just gone with Etienne, but hopefully, I don't want to even say hopefully because 2 touchdowns Tebow as well. Because you say hopefully, and both these guys put up big numbers, that means it's going to come away from somewhere else. And that means Trevor Lawrence won't be playing as well. So, I mean, it is what it is. Receiving, 875 and 10 for Chark, solid. Stamper as a rookie, 75 catches, 700 yards, 5 touchdowns. Happy with that. 6 and 5 for Shenault, 4 and 5 for James Robinson, 7 touchdowns Marvin Jones Jr. Sure. Joe Schobert was a tackle machine, leading the team, 123, 6 TFLs, 4 sacks. We got 11.5 sacks, Josh Allen, 7.5, 12 TFLs for our first-round draft pick, Khalil Harrison. Really happy seeing that. 3 picks, Shaquille Griffin. Maybe want to see like a Henderson, a Sidney Jones, something like that, have like 4 or 5 picks. But, I'm not going to be too upset for year 2 in a 5-year rebuild, having the Jags get 10 wins and make the playoffs. McCaffrey is the league MVP. James Robinson, I almost implied just a second ago that I shouldn't have re-signed him. Number 8 in the MVP race. Mixon at number 4, so good to know. That's what we're kind of heading up against. He's also the Offensive Player of the Year in the AFC, so that's going to be tough. They got Von Miller too. Okay, got work cut out for us here. Khalil Harrison, Defensive Rookie of the Year. Happy for him. Congratulations. But man, wait, what? That's what I thought. Trevor Lawrence, second best QB in the AFC. Like seeing that. But man, oh man, I think we're going to have our work cut out for us here against the Bengals. So this is essentially the Cincinnati Bengals with Von Miller. That's going to be tough. This is going to be a tough game. But I would love to get the first playoff victory of the Trevor Lawrence, Urban Meyer era here over a legit Bengals team. It's not like we're playing and beating up some team that was barely 500 and squeaked into the playoffs. This is a team that most years probably would have, right in contention for a first-round bye. And just like that in the first half, we almost went in with a lead. Tied 14-14. Jags get the opening touchdown of the third quarter, second half, whatever you want to call it. It's looking good, man. I'm impressed with the defense. Very stout. We're winning this game because of the defense. Get some points here, or just close the game out. Outstanding from Trevor Lawrence. 67% completion percentage. Outduels Joe Burrow. Didn't have a clean game. 1 touchdown, 2 interceptions. Is what it is. Probably got the run game, 95 yards, touchdown Robinson. Etienne chipped in with a tutty. Nothing too great to write home about for our receivers. Costed, yes, sir. 4 tackles, TFL, sack and a half. The Jags won a playoff game. All right, this one's going to be tough. Chiefs are always going to be a tough assignment. I mean, when I was looking through those awards, I didn't see a whole lot of Mahomes, Kelsey, or Tyreek. I did see a lot of Clyde Edwards-Helaire. So it's just okay, of course. They have all that, and now, the running back's a stud. Freak of nature. So this is going to be a tough one. Expectations are low, but optimistic. We get 2 field goals. Not going to beat the Chiefs, though, just scoring field goals. So can we stop it? Our defense is doing a great job, holding Kansas City to 17 points in the first half. Is impressive. Man, I'm very impressed with this defense. All right. Can we get a touchdown? I'd almost say from now on, just no more kicks. No more punts, no more field goals. Yeah, We hung with them. This was F grade for the offense. Defense held Kansas City in check, and our offense could not do anything but score field goals. So the defense gassed out, and Kansas City pulled ahead, man. We had a trick pass. What trick? Yes, sure. But that's, not the kind of game you want to see. You don't want to throw it 41 times and have barely over 100 yards. Run game was, what is this Chiefs? What are they eating? Can they enter drug testing protocol or something? What's going on there? Full respect to our defense, though. Full respect, like seeing Catalino too, our free agency signing from last offseason, getting a big pick, but that's frustrating, man. So as we clean out our lockers here at the end of year 2, looking at just the dev traits, if you had anyone go up, Stamper's dev trait was just a star. That's less than ideal. Defensive side, what do we got? Harrison was a star. That's less than ideal. We did get the dev trade for Cisco in season, but I mean, I don't think I've drafted anybody yet. I mean, it's only been 2 rebuilds, but I've yet to draft a hidden dev player that's better than a star. Do they exist? We'll find out hopefully in this rebuild. And to close out year 2, Baltimore beats the Minnesota Vikings 28-21. Lamar Jackson is your Super Bowl MVP. The more I slept on it, the more you look at Jawaan Taylor, 25, almost an 80 overall. Probably worth re-signing him. So we'll get Jawaan Taylor locked up. I mean, see if this... Throw him a little bit. I mean, I'm just intrigued because I never heard of him. And he was actually surprisingly good. Yeah, we'll get him locked up for depth. And that's, we still got 30, 40 million bucks hit the open market if there's something juicy. And looking through the free agents, only 2 that kind of make sense. One is just trying to bring back Josh Lambo. I mean, superstar kickers are few and far between. So let's just see if we can get him and have him for the remainder of the rebuild so we don't have to worry about that spot. And I am looking at wide receiver here. And there's, Darius Slayton, especially if you're watching the Detroit Lions series late on in the Madden 21 cycle. He was really good for us, but Hardman is a year younger. There's no other bids on him. Offers, the kind of speed that can complement what we have in DJ Chark. And it just also makes Kansas City a little bit weaker. And very nice. We land McCole Hardman and Josh Lambo and still have a bunch of money they'll be able to carry over to next offseason in case there's someone that's a big-time upgrade at a big-time position of need. So let's get into the draft. So for a draft point here, not nearly as good as it was a year ago, but 2 guys obviously jump off the board here for me. First, you got to look, that's 6'6", 280. That's, fringe for a 3-4 defensive end. But he's only a late first rounder. We have Bernie Holiday from LSU, mid-first rounder. But we just did re-sign Costin. He's probably not going to be much better. So we have a slot corner here. Sean Collins from North Carolina, early first-round talent. Chance to have a depth. I just think probably the most upside right now. And no one's really like Tyson Campbell or Sidney Jones taking their game to the next level in our secondary. So we're going to pull the trigger here. Sean Collins, 77 normal, number 9 in true value. Getting him at 25 is a good pick. 94 speed, 90 acceleration, 92 agility, 77 zone, 88 jumping. Hit power is pretty good for a guy that's, sub 200, pretty small. Let's see if this guy can help and grow and develop in our secondary. Ooh, this is my only other guy on my short list, Kevin Claiborne, middle linebacker, 72 hidden depth. Might have our successor here for Joe Schobert. 91 speed, 88 acceleration, 83 tackle, 86 hit power, 78 pursuit, 77 strength, zone coverage of a 65, 61 68 catch. This guy's a stud. So after my board was white clean, I just tried not to botch the remainder of the draft. And we got some okay players. Got a Verndon at wide receiver, 73 normal. Got some good speed there, 93 speed. You got a 71 normal D end, 66 guard, 66 guard, 66 D end. And I'll tell you what, another year for generated classes, another year you just get the tallest, heaviest punter, and they're usually the best player. And he's a 70 overall. So again, still no duds. Happy with the draft class. Maybe not as overpowered as year 1, but still lots of solid players. Now we're starting out year 3 for Jacksonville. Look at that. 85s across the board. Year 3. Juggernaut. We're building the juggernaut. And we're only going to get better. So here's a look at our squad. Fresh off the press. Walker Little, might have something there at left tackle. Goldberg's going to be probably an 80 before the end of the season. Same for Ben Bartch. Same for Jawaan Taylor. So I'm kind of glad with the cohesion here on the offensive line. I think this is going to be a group that's going to grow together. Stamper, all these guys have boosts, but he's in the 80. We got McCole Hardman as our big free agency signing to pair with DJ Chark and Laviska Shenault. Robinson and Etienne still doing the thing. Lawrence, 86. Still need to get that depth trait, though. Trailing maybe slightly behind the pace that we set with Justin Fields in the Bears rebuild. There's our front 3. Happy with it. Secondary, happy with it. Got a brand new slot corner in our first round pick. Collins there. Keanu Neal still fairly solid. Cisco is good. Linebacking core is solid. Have a contingency plan now behind Schobert, getting that hidden dev middle linebacker in Claiborne in the draft. So not a whole lot to complain. Made the playoffs last year. Make them again this year. My point of year 3 and pretty damn good. 5-2, top of the AFC South. And let's keep on keeping on. Big game here against Tennessee. Actually, I'm going to quickly sim this one. That'd be a nice victory. Just to live calm the result. Would be a very disappointing loss. And it's a win. Nice. 31-24. Very nice. Now let's take a look at our contracts here. Myles Jack, all right, first. I mean, that's just, now at this point here, pretty much just retain all of our good players. We'll come back to the table for him. Griffin has been solid, even though hasn't been getting like big-time picks or anything like that. I still just, judge the defensive effort as a whole in the sim. I just think back to the Kansas City Chiefs game. We were in that game to the very end with pathetic play on the offensive side of the ball because of the defense. So even though these guys aren't getting the box score stats, they must be doing something right. We'll get Laviska Shenault lined up here for 3 more years. Sidney Jones, a little bit now, he's expendable because of the first-round draft pick at corner, so I'm not overly worried. Caleb Von Chaisson, happy to see his development. He's gone up dev trade with us. I think still high 80s could be his ceiling. I think Hamilton as well has done a fairly good job for us on the interior as our nose tackle, so we'll get him locked up. Ben Bartch on the offensive line, another player, been very impressed. Glad we made the decision when we did to trade A.J. Cann and go with Ben Bartch starting on the offensive line. For the rest of these players, I'm not seeing, not seeing a whole lot. I think we're good. Not the sexiest record here at the end of year 3, but still good enough to get another AFC South title, 9-8. And we're 88 overall across the board, so the team is still developing and growing. We're far from done, man. We still have, still year 3. We still have 2 more years and hopefully 2 more off seasons of big-time signings. But I'm not going to discredit this. 9-8 Jags team could absolutely go on a Cinderella run here and do some damage in the playoffs. So let's see what we got statistically for this 9-8 season. Trevor Lawrence still playing good. I'll tell you right now, not as good as Justin Fields. If we're kind of like just making that comparison, 3,700 yards, 30 touchdowns, 6 picks is not bad though. 1,500 yards, 21 touchdowns from James Robinson. That is absolutely filthy. Almost 10 touchdowns for Etienne. Receiving, we're starting to run the ball a lot more. What? James Robinson should be the MVP. That's like well over 2,000 yards from scrimmage and 27 touchdowns. We had our WTF moment in the Bears rebuild when Khalil Mack retired year 1. I would almost argue if James Robinson can win the MVP this year, that's good enough to take the cake for this Jags rebuild. Solid year for Shenault, Chark, Stamper. Again, solid. A little underwhelming there for Harbin being our big signing. 88 catches for a guy that's a deep threat, averaging 5 yards of reception. So that's a little weird. I think a little misuse of resources there. 136 tackles, 3 sacks, 4 picks for Myles Jack. Very happy with those numbers. 8.5 sacks, Khalil Harrison. 8 for Josh Allen. 5.5 for Chaisson. 5 picks, Griffin leading the team. 3 for C.J. Henderson. So we're finally starting to get those turnovers from our corners in the secondary, which is great to see. Now, moment of truth. Did James Robinson just win the MVP? Oh, no. He was close. He was really... That would have been awesome. Still, I don't know. You don't want to discredit his season. That was an exceptional season from James Robinson, who is your offensive player. Give this man a dev trade. He better have a superstar as we go into next season. For the rest of the awards here, let's see if we have any Jaguars. James Robinson gets the running back of the year, and that is kind of looking like it. But hey, at least we now know we have one of the best running backs in the league, and maybe, just maybe, we can rely on him for this deep playoff run, which is hopefully going to be a deep playoff run. But first, we got to get past the Pittsburgh Steelers. All right, let's go. Steelers, so they got Najee Harris. We got Trevor Lawrence, all right? We got Trevor Lawrence, and we got James Robinson, who's on pace. Was it Arian Foster, a UDFA running back? I'm not gonna trigger anybody, but I think there's a chance, at least from this sim, James Robinson could go down as the greatest UDFA NFL history. At minimum running back. But I think we're going to need a Super Bowl when all is said and done. A nice playoff run to it help. 21 points for the Jags in the first quarter. We take a 1-point lead into the second half. Another touchdown. We start things off second half outright, man. Let's go. We get a touchdown here on this drive. It's going to be over. But we do not. It's a little bit of back and forth, chippy fourth quarter. Touchdowns and stuff, and all momentum, all straight scores for Pittsburgh. 4th down. I'm coming in. It's 4th and inches. Let me see what James Robinson's working with here. All right, we don't have Tebow fullback die. He retired last offseason. Silently. He went off just silently. He didn't need to make it all about him. Let's go! James Robinson move the chains into Pittsburgh territory. Kind of a quiet game for the season. He had 81 yards and a touchdown. But let's see if we can finish it off. We do! But $120. We need that great defense from a year ago to step up. And oh, God. Couldn't do it. Well, Trevor Lawrence, sensational. 4 touchdowns, no picks. 81 yards, not bad from James Robinson. 13 catches, $130, 2 touchdowns for Chark. Shenault had a solid game. Defensively, it wasn't good enough. Didn't get enough pressure. Did have the turnover there for Myles Jack, but it's a very frustrating result. Let's go into year 4. I'm not even going to call it silver lining, but deservedly so. James Robinson gets himself his superstar dev trait, 97 overall. You're not going to find a lot better running backs. What kind of abilities? We got Bulldo. Oh, yeah, he's going to be extra fun. Extra fun to hop in and play with. Defensively, do we have anything here? You could have, Myles Jack would have been an easy sell to get a dev trait upgrade. He did not. Claiborne, the hidden dev rookie, is a star dev, so we're still looking for our first, I think. Did we have a superstar dev in the Bears rebuild? Can't remember. Ooh! Shaquille Griffin went up dev trait. After we re-signed him as well. We re-signed him as a star. Developed into a superstar at the end. He did have 5 picks, so very happy with that. I'll take it, man. Land 1 or 2 big free agents here in this offseason. I think we're gonna go on a deep playoff run next year. And at the end of year 3, it is another Kansas City Chiefs Super Bowl, beating the Seattle Seahawks 30-24 with created guy Floyd Rowe winning the MVP. We'll say as we get into free agency, I think it could be an expensive one. I haven't even really looked at the players, but I think I'm going to be willing to spend. Let's get rid of some of the uglier contracts. So we're getting rid of Jenkins here, and because I think Claiborne has a lot of upside at middle linebacker, we are going to move on from Joe Schobert, who's actually been solid, probably doesn't deserve to get cut, but I really think we probably will be able to reinvest this money elsewhere. So checking into free agency, a couple of interesting guys. No one that was screaming, sign me off the page. Like in the Bears rebuild, we did bring in Fletcher Cox, and we are in a 3-4 front. But I'm going to try something a little different here. We're going to go after Cam Jordan. J.J. Watt was there, but they're both the same rating, and there's no bids on Cam Jordan. He can come in, nice 1-year deal, see if that's enough to get us like a guy that gets 12, 13 sacks. And even though we just cut Joe Schobert, and I was like, maybe we don't really need that. We could trust the young linebacker. Isaiah Simmons is here at strong safety, and I'm 100% if we can sign him, he's going to play next to Myles Jack in the middle of our defense. Too good of an opportunity to pass up. And that's phenomenal. Got both of them. Didn't really have to overpay either. So welcome Cam Jordan. Welcome Isaiah Simmons to Duval County. Our draft boards, again, we're at a spot where our team's so good. It's, generally just go BPA. So here's what I'm thinking. We have Keelan Capers from Louisville, 6'5", 320, running a 4.83 in the like this guy here. Everything, the combine's S tier. The skills are fine. I'm just more so thinking, like, what do we do? We signed Cam Jordan on a 1-year deal. If things don't work out with Cam Jordan, I kind of want, who's that guy that could step up behind him or develop this year behind him? And I think we just go with the best D lineman available for our first pick. And let's see what we got here. Pretty good. 79 hidden dev, number 6 in true value, getting him at 20. What? What is this? What is this athletic profile? This is like if Mekhi Becton played defense. Straight up, BPA, across the board. Here we got Mark Paxton. You run a 3-4, you want 4 middle linebackers on the roster. He's number 25 in true value, 74 hidden dev, 88 speed, 91 acceleration. Yeah, he also looks just very good. So after that selection, my draft board dried up fairly quickly. So I was able to I simmed it. I simmed it after my 4th round. I got 73 normal dev safety, 68 corners, 70 D end. And then I simmed it out, and the sim hooked this up, man. We got Mike Wheeler, 72 running back out of Oklahoma. Sure, couple 60s. No mulligans. Shout out to the sim. No one under a 60 overall. I will take that. But, first 2 picks, absolute home run. Keelan Capers gets to sit a year behind Cam Jordan, and then Paxton is just really solid linebacker depth. Year 4 here for the Jags, pretty stacked. I'm starting to look at my team at if we go to year 5, maybe there's a trade or 2 we can make across the league in case, that's something that needs to be done. But I like the continuity that we've been able to have and just traditional rebuild, draft well, sign good free agents, and develop them. And that's what we've done here. So no real changes on the offense. Everyone is back. I think the only thing that kind of stands out is Trevor Lawrence. Year 4, only got 2 years left still. No dev trade upgrade or anything like that. 89 star. Little underwhelming for QB 16 with no portrait, but he's right there and has a beautiful set of hair. It's beautiful. Defense, pretty much the same. Got an excellent addition to the defensive line here in Capers. Cam Jordan coming over in free agency, as well as Isaiah Simmons in the middle of the defense. That's so impossible to try to stop. So, I mean, I'm not seeing any weaknesses across the board with this squad. And here in year 4, hopefully, we don't run into a juggernaut in the playoffs. We can get a little bit of a playoff run here. Midway point of year 4, I can tell you right now, for those of you guys that are like still, I want to wait and see for this brand new Madden 22 franchise mode. I'll tell you right now, the sim feels a lot better. For whatever, like a lot less. I almost felt like at least in Madden 21, like I'd have a team like this, 89. Like definitely the Jags are at worst top 5 team, and you would just lose. You'd have a team that's like easily the worst team, like a 73 overall. You just knew in previous Maddens that you were gonna lose. And like I've been paying attention. I sim by week by week by week, so I don't miss any potential dev trade scenarios. And we're smoking the teams we should be smoking. So we're 7-1 right now, top of the AFC South, and we're rocking and rolling. And this, it feels rewarding to like build a terrific team and actually have them sim as at least somewhat to their talent level. So we have Trevor Lawrence here, $200 million deal. Hopefully, when we look at the final box score stats for this season, he has enough to go up a dev trade, because it's just still, it's unfortunate that his dev trade has yet to go up. Let's give Andre Cisco some more money here. I think Keanu Neal, here's the line of thinking. He's like, let's let Keanu, actually, you know what? We could probably let him walk, because it's going to be our final offseason, and if he's the best strong safety available, sure, we'll sign him. Or if there's an upgrade, I'd rather sign them than just, give him that money right away. Jawan Taylor on the offensive line, 80 overall. Still think that's fine, given the success we've had. Our O-line across the board, even though the ratings aren't outstanding, we're seeing pretty much godly numbers from James Robinson. And it's not like our QB's getting sacked all right. So they're doing a good job here. And the only guy that we'll wait and see is Cam Jordan. If he has like 15 sacks, something like that at the end of the year, I'll absolutely give him a contract extension. But if he's 7, 8, kind of the production we've got so far in this rebuild, might have different options. Go with the kid that we drafted, or find someone else in free agency for our all or nothing season, potentially, if we can't win one this year. So we got a big victory. I think we're 10-1 right now, and James Robinson has done it. I'm not surprised one bit. He would probably got it anyways at the end of this year, given his stats, but he has gone from UDFA to maybe we shouldn't re-sign him because we have Etienne, to superstar X Factor on the 10-1 Jacksonville Jaguars. So let's see the abilities here. Now that we got something here to kind of play around with, it's probably a wrecking ball. That's very fitting for, he's also with the boost, a new member of the 99 Club. James Robinson, take a bow. 14-3 is how we finished. We did lose 2 of our final 3 games, which I think cost us, well, obviously it did. It cost us the first round bye to the Kansas City Chiefs, but the Chiefs beat us. So at least I'm not going to be super salty. The team that actually beat us is the team that finishes ahead of us. It wasn't like we lost to like some bottom dweller or anything like that. So we are 14-3, 91s across the board there, which is very good. And we get to try to avenge our loss from last season against the Pittsburgh Steelers. So a quick look at our team. Definitely seeing, from Trevor Lawrence standpoint, not as good in the sim as Justin Fields was for us. A lot of interceptions here, really enough. Like this is kind of came in as like the obviously meme Tebow rebuild, but it's Trevor Lawrence. And James Robinson has stolen the show. 1,600 yards, 15 touchdowns this year. Decent 1-2 punch there with Etienne. Still no dominant performance at wide receiver. Maybe that's something. Maybe we need to try to get an X Factor, make a big splash, try to get an X Factor at wide receiver. Pull Buffalo Bills and try to land a Stephon Diggs for year 5. Defensively, Myles Jack, S tier stats, 100 tackles, 7 sacks, 3 interceptions, 12.5 sacks Harrison, 10.5 Josh Allen, 10 from Cam Jordan, 18 TFL, so we're finally getting some production there. Interceptions, 3 from Isaiah Simmons. Not bad, man, for him coming over free agency. New team, 91 tackles, 3 sacks, 3 picks. I'm happy with it. Yearly awards, MVP went to Christian McCaffrey. He is unstoppable. James Robinson at number 3. Happy seeing that. He's also Offensive Player of the Year again in the AFC. Any more Jags showing up? James Robinson gets the running back. Not much there, but hey, we'll take offensive play. It's the James Robinson rebuild, everybody. I don't think I used him in the thumbnail. Probably should have. Either way, let's avenge this loss from Pittsburgh last year. Let's go on a playoff run. This is a team that can win a Super Bowl. All right, it's not snowing. That's pretty wild. It's in Jacksonville, but things can happen. 7-0. First score of the game goes to the Jacksonville Jaguars. Pittsburgh goes down the field. We hold them to a field goal attempt, but we have a better pass rush, a lot better pass rush. We're pretty much the same team as we were a year ago, but Cam Jordan kind of put everything together, and it's almost making me second guess. Maybe I should have offered him a contract. Pittsburgh somehow gets back-to-back field goals to take the lead in the second half. Very slow start from the offense. And I'm almost starting to get like, maybe Trevor Lawrence is like super hot and cold in the sim. This is, oh man. I don't want to say I promised a Super Bowl win in this rebuild. I'm a little worried. It's not good enough, man. I don't know, man. We have to do something. Try to trade Fields for. Try to trade for. Hey, you want to swap quarterbacks? Chicago is what I'm saying. Hey, it wasn't even Lawrence's fault. 3 touchdowns, no picks. He did his job. Run game got held in check. Defensively, only 1 sack, and it's from like I don't even know who that is. It's like a backup. Okay. Cleared out the lockers year 4. No dev traits on the offensive side of the ball, which is not surprising. Outside of James Robinson, everyone was kind of just okay. But on the defensive side, our 2 hidden dev rookies, superstar for Paxton, superstar for Capers. So we might need to just shift Simmons back to strong safety. We're going to let Keanu Neal hit the open market. And then just go with Paxton and Myles Jack, potentially at middle linebacker. Something to consider as well for Capers. I don't know, man. I might want to bring back Cam Jordan because just adding him made so much sense for the defense, made everyone else better. And at the end of year 4, the Baltimore Ravens beat the Dallas Cowboys 35-21. Lamar Jackson gets, I think, his 2nd Super Bowl MVP in this rebuild. I'll throw Cam Jordan a bone here. I'll at least offer him here if he wants to stay. Hey, the fact that he's buying in, I appreciate that. I respect that. For the final free agency period, a lot of massive free agents. We got Zach Martin, who actually signed in the Bears rebuild. Aaron Donald's there. Khalil Mack, Bakhtiari. I just think, all right, well, we kind of talked about maybe moving Isaiah Simmons back to strong safety. I just had to gamble on the one that I could afford. I couldn't afford Aaron Donald. I can't afford Bakhtiari, but I can afford Harrison Smith. So we add another superstar X factor to the defensive side of the ball. Big time upgrade. Hopefully we land him. We spend all of our available salary cap, and this will be the big splash that can take this team over the edge and get them jumping down into a bunch of Super Bowl confetti because we're going to win the Super Bowl. Come on, man. Got to get one here in the first 2 rebuilds. And very much so, I paid him an outrageous amount of money. Harrison Smith accepts like a 1-year, $18 million deal come to Jacksonville. For this draft, only 2 guys that we scouted that I actually kind of was interested in. One's a safety in the 4th round. Early first rounder. These are going to be my first 2 picks. But I'm going to grab Abdul Allen from Oklahoma. 6'3", 4.5 speed. Early first round talent. Just absurd. Number 8 in true value. 76 normal. Pretty good. Pretty good. So we have 1 guy left that's really worth drafting, so I'm going to sim it out after this. But Christian Reichard. We'll go Reichard. Sounds probably better. 5'10", 216. He's going to be good. He's going to be real good. 77 in dev. Number 4 in true value. 92 speed. We got pursuit on point. The coverage is on point. I'm okay at drafting. I would trade, though, like 1 or 2 of these really good drafts for a Super Bowl at this point, though. Computer did an okay job. Got a 71 D tackle, best of the bunch, but still no mulligans. I appreciate the computer for not sabotaging my draft records. And before we get into anything here in year 5, I know it's not common, but sometimes I'll see in the comments, C4, make some trades. This is as good as a trade as I can line up to try to get someone that would make sense. Terry McLaurin was with Urban Meyer at Ohio State. Big-time playmaker wide receiver. Like, this is as much of an offer. 3 greens and a yellow, okay? Barely fitting under the salary cap. It's not even close. So, trade, I don't know. Maybe I just suck at trades. I don't know. I get wanting to try to trades. I get trying to exhaust all your options. It's just not working out for me. So, here's our team as we gear up for year 5. This is our submit to your teacher, your final thesis. This is it for the Jacksonville Jaguars Madden 21 franchise rebuild. We got pretty good offensive line. Bill Goldberg. Awesome. What are the odds that I do a rebuild of a guy that owns the team, that owns a wrestling company, and I get a wrestler name? That's pretty cool. But Linder held on to his rating fairly well. Like, O-line, I'm happy with it. Skill position guys, I'm happy with it. And even though we're trying to make a splash move, like 91 for Chark, 89 for McCole Harmon, 90 for Shenault. I mean, how much more help does Trevor Lawrence need? I'm not going to make, I can't make an excuse. You need to dominate with this offense. Defensively, we got Cam Jordan coming back. Got a couple superstars, Paxton and Capers from last year's draft, which is just depth at this point. Henderson's developing nicely. He's up to an 88, Cisco 84. We bring in Harrison Smith. Maybe he could be the game changer that we need, but I mean, again, just give me a little bit better luck in the sim here. Might as well. Week 18, final week. We're looking good. Got the division locked up. 15-1 Chiefs. So, again, we're not getting that first round. But it could be nice to get a victory over Kansas City. Carry that momentum into the playoffs. And we do win. 35-28. Very nice. So, we're sole owners of the number 2 seed in the AFC. We got Josh Allen and the Buffalo Bills. Fun. It's awesome. At least we get to, hopefully the easier game. We'll have to run into the Kansas City Chiefs. They're at least the AFC Championship, and it is the final year of the rebuild, so I will be hopping in, getting on the sticks, and hopefully having better luck than the conclusion of the Chicago Bears rebuild yesterday. But let's look at our 13 win. I mean, again, much like the Bears, win or lose a Super Bowl, I think we've done our job rebuilding. We made the Jags into a competent organization. Things have been very successful with Trevor Lawrence and Urban Meyer. 3,500 yards, 33 touchdowns, 8 picks for Trevor Lawrence. So again, just say firmly, Justin Fields is the better sim quarterback in Madden 22. But again, the team was a little bit different. We had Allen Robinson, different playbook. Bears playbook generally has been favorable in the sim. And I'm not disappointed with Trevor Lawrence by any means. He's been solid, but he's never, still has never really had that big-time season yet. Speaking of big-time season, James Robinson's amazing. 1,700 yards, 26 touchdowns. Honestly, Travis Etienne, who? This is James Robinson's show. Chark, solid. Again, just kind of James, phenomenal. What? James Robinson, we have 17. So we'll almost be round up here. We can almost be generous to say almost 2,500 yards and 36 total touchdowns if he does not get the MVP. 36 total. Is that a record? That might be a record. Buck 26 for Myles Jack. 13 sacks, Khalil Harrison. 10 from Cam Jordan. Our defense on point. Give Robinson the MVP. Yes, baby. James Robinson, MVP in year 5. Deserves it too, man. Unreal. I hope anyone watches. If you're a Jags fan or you're planning on doing a Jags franchise, or the Jags are one of the first teams you want to rebuild, I hope you have the same type of performances from James Robinson that I'm getting, because he's amazing. Offensive Player of the Year, James Robinson. Oh, there's the dude last year that won Super Bowl MVP, Floyd Rowe. Let's see what we got here. James Robinson, best running back. Very fitting. That's probably it. A whole lot of Kansas City Chiefs there. So that's going to be awesome that we know we have to deal with that. But we got the playoffs. Josh Allen up first. Stephon Diggs up first. 13-4 Jags. 10-7 Buffalo Bills. 85 overall Bills. 84 overall. So we got the offense. 84 overall Bills. 90 overall Jags. Have the advantage. Let's hop on the sticks. We'll pop a bear. We'll just play the moments. If things get a little fishy, we'll step in. I think we should be able to handle Buffalo, though, just in the sim outright. All right, let's get it. Let's get it. T-Law. I need a 5-touchdown performance from Trevor Lawrence. If I'm Trevor Lawrence, I'm a little upset that, James Robinson has kind of stolen the show just a little bit. And this is going to be your opportunity. And I'm going to have to pretty much come in here in just 1 second if things start to get out of hand, which they kind of... Oh, wow. I don't want to say I'm going to have to play this whole game. Get a touchdown here. Thank you very much. Can we get another one here? Yes. Okay, the team's helping them. They're digging themselves out of the hole. I'm very proud of this effort so far. Bills just went for it on 4th down. We get the go-ahead touchdown. 3rd down alert. Now is when we come in. We're going to come in. First thing I'm doing, we're going to go ahead, double tap the tempo left stick. Sorry. What do you mean moment missed? Let me go. We want chew the clock on. Once we get this first down. 3rd and 10. Trevor Lawrence. What do we got? Chark, Hardman, Laviska Shenault down deep. Stamper at tight end. That's probably where we want to go. But he got Edmonds in coverage. We'll scramble out of the pocket because that's what I do. And we're going to get it with Trevor Lawrence. Gets popped at the sticks, but 11 yards. It is, I'm not going to lie. I wasn't thinking that all along, but definitely was not. Why didn't you give me another chance? It's so random. We got the win. I hated that. Why would you have me come in for the third down and then just be like, no, you punted it. But we got the victory. 1 point. Razor close. 35-34. Looking at more so us. 3 touchdowns on a pick from Trevor Lawrence. 75 yards. Touchdown. James Robinson. DJ Chark, 95 yards. Couple tutties. Just, we worked the ball around. Harrison with 2 sacks. He's been a beast. Harrison Smith, I want to say mercenary to try to win a Super Bowl, gets an interception, so you like seeing that return on investment as the Jacksonville Jaguars are moving on to the AFC divisional round. And in the division round, we got the Bengals up next, and that was probably our best playoff performance so far in this rebuild was when we had the Burrow versus Trevor Lawrence showdown. They got Mixon, Leighton Vander Esch, and a guy named Lucas Cruz as their X Factor, Jesse Bates, Joe Burrow, Chidobe Awuzie, and Von Bell as their superstars. Not going to be an easy game, but a game that we're very much the favorites to win. We'll be trying to pay attention to the little ticker to see if someone else can deal with the Kansas City Chiefs. But we got to handle business here. We get the first touchdown of the game, up 7-zip. Cincinnati does go down, scores early in the second, but we respond, which is exactly what you want to see. That something I have noticed, though, so far in Madden 22 Super Sim has been the case. I don't know if it's just you guys are watching this. Feels like the games are really close. That's not an issue at all. But, once you get into playoffs, especially when you're doing a rebuild format where it's all or nothing, a couple one-sided butt kickings, it'd be welcome in addition. But we got a 10-point lead. We're going to be able to get this one over the line. I'm sure we're going to play the Kansas City Chiefs next round. Joe Burrow does not like playing our defense, man. Did not have a particularly good game. 2 touchdowns, 1 pick for Trevor Lawrence. $146, touchdown. James Robinson, 98 yards, touchdown for McCole Hardman. Sack for Capers and Cam Jordan. Interception, Andre Sisco and the Jags. I actually almost hope it's Kansas City. I want to beat them. Oh. Do they still have... What? There's no way. If they still have Carson Wentz at quarterback. The juggernaut Chiefs just lost to Drew Lock. Oh, we have to win the Super Bowl. We have to at least make the Super Bowl. There's no way. There's no excuse to lose to this Colts team. They're 79 overall. I don't even care. I didn't even look at their roster. I don't care. This has got to be a game that we beat them like 35-7. They were so bad, so overmatched, so out of their depth. I appreciate them doing the dirty work and beating the Kansas City Chiefs. But this should be what happened. We should absolutely railroad them and be further proof that what I've been saying is like when you are a heavy favorite from an overall standpoint, seems like the Madden 22 sim recognizes that a lot better than really like the last 5 Maddens, which is really great for a rebuild because a lot of people out there, you guys watching this, do your own rebuilds. And the number one common complaint for people that do rebuilds the way that I do it with the sim is just the sim's so random. And it does feel like a lot of that randomness, at least when it's a clear favorite team, seems to have been eliminated. And that is very much a welcome addition to franchise. And we smoked them. Going to the Super Bowl, 37. I almost called that final score. 3 touchdowns there for Trevor Lawrence. Easy day of work. $132 for James Robinson and a touchdown. 3 touchdowns for Laviska Shenault. We got 2 sacks, Cam Jordan. And just like that, at the buzzer, the Jacksonville Jaguars in year 5 of the rebuild are going to the Super Bowl. So before you see the Super Bowl matchup, this is our squad after the Pro Bowl. No dev traits were gained or earned on offense, but on the defensive side of the ball, Myles Jack is now a 99 superstar X Factor. So hopefully that helps out because we're going up against the Green Bay Packers. 85 overall, 12-5. They're a good team. I assume, let's get a little sneak preview here. What do they got? They got Jair Alexander, Kenny Clark, Von Miller, and Preston Smith, Aaron Jones, Bakhtiari, this guy named Trey Spurlock, Zadarius Smith, Jordan Love pulling the strings. He's a superstar. So he has been, obviously, at least in this sim, a proper successor to Aaron Rodgers. Dante Pettis has turned his career around. He's a superstar. They got Josh Edwards, Kamoko Toure, another guy turned his career around, and Olukun here at linebacker, formerly of the Falcons. I'm not gonna lie, you look at this roster, obviously, you got Von Miller, kind of mercenary going for the Super Bowl there, but I like a couple of these, Jordan Love developing, Pettis, Toure, a couple guys turning their careers around. I wouldn't be surprised some of you guys just see in that list. Just go I kind of hope Green Bay wins. If you say that, though, you're an asshole. Because let's go, man. We need one Super Bowl win from our first 2 rebuilds. The time is now. Our team is too good. All right, yeah. People always say you play your best football at 2:35 a.m. in the morning. So I'm quite sure that when I get on the sticks in this game, it's going to be S-tier gameplay. I'm almost guaranteed. So in the first quarter, defensive battle, no points are being scored. No one's really even sniffing the other team's red zone, but Jacksonville gets the first score of the game. We get back-to-back to end the first half up 14-0. If our defense can pitch a shutout, that'd be sensational. I got to come in here. End of the third two. I mean, we got to go James Robinson, man. He's been the belle of the ball, the star of the show. I mean, we are in field goal range. Points at this point is, let's go. Oh, let's go, James Robinson. That's like something to keep an eye on. I may or may not. I'm kind of keeping what I'm doing for Madden 22 franchise mode close to the chest. It's just good to know that James Robinson's a beast. I'll say that for what I'm thinking about doing for my series. All right, we get another third down. I want to see if I can get a touchdown here with Trevor Lawrence. Let's go curl flat. At least we got Robinson out the backfield here for the easy check down. Hopefully he's wide open there. Let's see, T-Law, pocket, solid. Again, we're just going to scramble. Pretty much every play I've had so far, I've just not used the arm of Trevor Lawrence. But that was a good play call there. And he's a good athlete. 88 acceleration, I think 84 sprint speed. He's a complete quarterback. I want to punch this in, though, as we open up the fourth quarter with James Robinson. As much as you want this to be about... that's audible here to a run. Can we do this? As much as you want this to be about Trevor Lawrence, Urban Meyer, any of those guys, he almost got in. He almost had his own John Elway moment there. I'm not even gonna say sadly. It's just surprisingly, and we'll take the points. Now we'll give. Actually, you know what? No, this is my rebuild. We are going to go here. Run play. Where is it? How does this new next-gen stuff... Where's my one run play that I need? There we go. Strong toss to the left. Come on, James Robinson. This could be the greatest moment that you've ever had in your life. In the Super Bowl... Oh, yeah. Run him over! I don't want to say it's over. It's looking good, man. It's looking good. Oh, I feel so... Especially after how the Bears one ended. We needed this. I mean, I might have just jinxed. No. Thank you. I think I just saw my life flash before my eyes there. Oh, and there's at least we get to see the new Super Bowl celebration. They were kind of pumping it up here a little bit. That Madden 22 was going to have a new Super Bowl. So let's see what it is. And it's full glory as we win a Super Bowl. Our first successful rebuild of Madden 22, and it comes with our first two rebuilds. Trevor Lawrence, I mean, this is the trade-off. We had the individual success of Justin Fields with some pretty good team success in our first rebuild with the Chicago Bears, but here with Jacksonville, we had pretty good success with Trevor Lawrence, maybe slightly underwhelming given, the pace that we set with Justin Fields yesterday. But, Super Bowl, it's all that matters. Urban Meyer, Trevor Lawrence, look at that. Hoist it! Oh, yeah, look at that. Just soak it in, Jags fans. All 300 of you. Soak that in. Super Bowl, Jacksonville, let's go. Shout out James Robinson. Absolutely shout out James Robinson. I'm not going to end it right here. I do want to go take it and look at the final stats. I want to see just what has James Robinson done over the last 5 years. But winning the Super Bowl feels good. And at this point, let me know in the comment section below what team you guys want to see me rebuild next, because it's wide open. It's absolutely wide open. I'll have my hands. It'll be the PC version for a little bit. I think PC, for some reason, I get like 3 or 4 extra days access. So it's not going to be next-gen gameplay. But definitely let me know in the comments what team you want to see rebuilt next. But let's finish out this video just kind of looking at our body of work and see the stats for this Jags team. So after 5 years, as we close things out with your Super Bowl champion Jacksonville Jaguars squad, Trevor Lawrence through 5 years, 18,000 passing yards, $160 for his touchdowns, 160 to 65 picks, 68%. I mean, again, that's solid to good quarterback play, just not elite quarterback play, which would have been nice to see. James Robinson, he has 6 years. In 6 seasons, James Robinson has 8,000 rushing yards, 107 rushing touchdowns to go along with 3,500 receiving yards. And if I did a full career sim with James Robinson, if we just did this till he retired, he's probably going to go down as the best running back in NFL history, which is unreal. That's absolutely the kind of story that you kind of want to have. If this was me just doing a franchise, and I knew I was staying with the Jags, and I was going to do 20 years with the Jags, just knowing that that's a possibility with James Robinson, that's awesome. That's a great thing to see. There's the numbers there. Wide receiver numbers, they weren't really that great. Defensively, Myles Jack. I mean, again, you kind of want to see more so players that we brought in that have been here the whole time. Josh Allen, 52.5 sacks. Harrison, it's been a beast, probably our best draft pick. 41.5 sacks for the pick standpoint. Griffin, 19, got a lot of those with us, more so than what he did with Seattle. Myles Jack was good. Henderson said, generally though, nothing outrageous. There's no other way to cut it. It's the James Robinson rebuild. Full credit to him. If not for James Robinson, we would not have won the Super Bowl. And with that, even though you got Etienne, I might just draft James Robinson in all my fantasy leagues because of what he did in our first successful Madden 22 rebuild. But thank you guys very, very much for clicking on the video and supporting my channel here. It is going to be a massive Madden 22 season. So if it is your first time stopping by, don't be afraid to hit that subscribe button slowly. Come on, man. I want a boom year. I don't want to be a bust. Last year was a bust. This year needs to be a boom. We get the first overall pick. I got to make sure I hit on it. So very much, if you want to hop on that bandwagon before we leave the station, hit that subscribe button. Smash the like button if you enjoyed it. It's free. Very much helps out my videos, helps in the YouTube algorithm, helps out the channel. So that would be very much appreciated. But that does it for me here today, guys. Let me know in the comment section below what team you want to see me rebuild next. And I'll see you guys back here in the next one. Thanks for watching, and peace out.